Engines roar, louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens, captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Engines roar, louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening. This afternoon, we are back in action here with the always amazing Outcast Racing League. As qualifying currently underway, drivers laying down their quick times here, trying to put themselves into what could be a winning situation here this afternoon, trying to put themselves into the best possible starting spot out there on the speedway here this afternoon, as each and every one of them looking to try to pick up the dub, looking to try to put themselves into victory lane. As all these laps, man, these guys putting on a great battle, some great racing, and we're going to see them putting on a huge fight right here. Every single one of them is an open qualifying session here at Dover. Now, normally we see closed, just single car qualifying, but open qualifying here just to make things that much more interesting. You're now allowed to lay down even more laps. You're allowed that extra little bit of time here to try and put more laps into, into the books here, and just really try to lay down a good set here, a good couple laps out there on the racetrack, and try to put yourself into a solid starting position here this afternoon. As we do see Cameron Combs right now with the quick time out there on the racetrack. This number 6 of Robert Tuisku currently second. The Overton 76 ride, it is Caleb McKinney who sits there in third. The 3 of Al Reed up into position number 4, and Johnny Thunders in his beautiful number 60 ride rolling out there on the speedway. He sits back there in that 5th position, but it's not going to be for long, as now we do see Casey Gross jump up inside the top 5. Big move right there for Casey as he jumps up the board a little bit. Now we see Chris Muse up into 3rd, as Muse getting a little extra speed out there. McKinney up into 4th. Josh Bromfield now into that 5th spot as Edward Belair slides into 6th, moving Casey back to 7th. Al Reed back to 8th, and Johnny Thunders now into 9th, with Mike Killingback currently rounding out our top 10 here in this qualifying session. We got another great field of cars, a lot of fast cats out there on the speedways. We do see Anthony Garland. He's jumping out there looking to lay down some good lap times here in his Tour Boy Motorsports Outcast Racing League number 81. Tyler Humphrey out there as well. The Must Love Poodles number 9 ride. They sit Silver Mule Whiskey number 9 machine out there on the speedway. Good looking ride right there for Tyler Humphrey. Huge shout to Tyler. He's the one who puts together all of our sponsor banners and everything else that you see down there in the bottom left, bottom right of the screen. Way over there. You guys can see him as He does all these banners for us. A huge thank you there for him for creating those series partners, logos, and everything else, and giving the channel a little bit more of a classy look there with those, as we love to see that. Love to see that. Huge shout out there to him as these drivers getting done their qualifying session here in just a little bit. Qualifying quickly about to come to a close here for each and every one of these competitors. So knowing that qualifying is about to come to an end, there's the checkered flag. It's their last opportunity to try to lay down some quick lap times out there for Al Reed, Tyler Humphrey, Edward Belair. Some of these drivers just trying to find a little extra speed, that extra little bit that they may need to put themselves up there towards the front of the field to start this race. As right now, it's technically a three-way tie between Cameron Combs, Robert Tuiscu, and Kurt Sponsler for that top spot. All three of them running 22.66 second lap times, going down to that 1,000th of a second, giving Cameron Combs just by a inch or two out there on the racetrack that top spot here in the qualifying session, as qualifying has come to a close, and that means we'll get ready to rock and roll here this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. If you haven't done it already, make sure you guys help us out here. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to go to battle. We get ready to duke it out here this afternoon with the Outcast Racing League, as drivers going to get ready to roll out onto the racetrack, getting ready to go to battle here this evening. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to duke it out. Looks like we got another good field, 22 drivers loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win here this evening, as starting back in position number 22 here on the racetrack. See if we can get another good angle at this. Right there he is. It is the 16 rider, Gary Wright, who will start at the rear of the field. To his insides, that 84 ride, the beautiful Outcast Racing League Peacemaker Gaming 84 of Wayne Garland. Good to see Wayne back out there onto the racetrack. Starting in position number 20, that is Thomas Riles. Riles start back there, running out our top 20 with Chad Lancaster there to his inside. Then we see the 06 of Chantel Pottle there in position number 18. Devin Black will be down to her inside. Adolfo Castillo will start back there in that Poultry Shack number 31, right in the 16th position, as Anthony Garland in his Poor Boy Motorsports number 81 ride there on the inside of, I do believe that is row number 9 on the racetrack, something like that. Row number 8, something like that, down in 15th, is starting inside a row outside a row number 7. It is the 40 ride of Thomas Martucci. Martucci gonna start there in position number 14. Billy Jordan in the 14 ride will start down to his inside. Starting in position number 12, it's Mike Killing back in to his inside. It is the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders. Starting in position number 10 and starting our top 10 here this afternoon, it's Al Reed, the RT3 Designs Elite Sim Racing number 3 ride will start there in 10th to his inside. In the Quantum Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming number 77, it is Casey Gross. Starting in position number 8 in the 25, it is Edward Belair. Down to his inside is that 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey in that 5th position. Starting in position, actually no, that's position number 7, as it looks like the 6 ride going to start down pit side, so that's going to bust things open a little bit here to start this race. So we do see Josh Bromfield, Caleb McKinney, Kurt Sponsler in the 49 ride starting there in 3rd. Starting on the outside of the front row is this number 99 ride of Chris Muse. And starting on the pole in the Rockstar Energy Drink, the John Deere Elite Sim Racing ride, it is the 15 of Cameron Combs. So Combs and Muse at the front of the field here to start this afternoon. Sponsler, Bromfield, McKinney, and Edward Belair are top 6. Tyler Humphrey back there in position number 7 with Al Reed. Now to his outside is Casey Gross in that 40 of Thomas Martucci, going to start in position number 10 here this evening. Is an unfortunate break here early on for Robert Tuiscu, starting down on pit road for that 6 ride. Not the place you want to be, and also for Mike Killingbeck. Killingbeck also down and off the racetrack, as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as a big launch right there for the 99 ride. Ooh, that may be a penalty right out of the gate here. I'm not sure if he jumps the start or what the issue is, but nonetheless, he gets a great launch and on the throttle there past that Geico restart zone. By the time he gets onto the throttle, unfortunately, he beats that race leader down into corner number 1 right there, getting a big jump in. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to be an issue, if we're going to see some sort of a penalty there for that number 99 ride, as he could have potentially have jumped that restart right there. A couple of drivers scraping the outside fences. A few other drivers have navigated their way down pit side. Chantel Pottle coming down pit road. Robert Tuwiscu, luckily enough, rolling back out there, but it does show him as currently a lap down. Adolfo Castillo also down pit side here early in this race, and Killingbeck, he's lucky enough to roll back out there onto the racetrack, but unfortunately for those drivers, they are now all 4 of them going to be scored as a lap down. Now we see Billy Jordan running into issues. Billy's got some pretty heavy left front damage on this 14 ride. He's looking to maybe head down pit side here as well. So some more issues out there on the racetrack, because unfortunately for the 6th ride, didn't have to start down on pit road, but luckily enough here, he's actually still on the lead lap. He was able to start close enough to the front of the field line. By the time he had to roll down pit lane, he was right there, able to quickly get onto the throttle, join the rear end of this field, and did not go a lap down. So that's actually a really good break there for Robert Tuwiscu. For Billy Jordan, he's now scored back here in 19th, and Killingbeck, he's there in 20th. He is the first driver 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately for Adolfo Castillo, he's also a lap or 2 behind here back in 21st, and Chantel Pottle still down on pit road, just rolling back down pit lane as here comes Thomas Riles. Riles also down pit road. Riles has got some pretty heavy left front damage here on this 26 ride as he heads into his pit stall. Heavy damage early on. He's going to look to get that repaired and trying to get this car back out there. Actually went through his pit stall right there a little bit and to throw it in reverse, and unfortunately that's going to take up some more time. As out in front, it's Cameron Combs. Combs able to take that race lead back away, even with a little bit of a slower restart there, with Muse beating him back down to the line. Kurt Sponsler up and into 2nd. Caleb McKinney there in 3rd. The Overton's number 76 ride rolling there in that 3rd position. There we see Chris Muse back in position number 4. Tyler Humphrey there in 5th with Casey Gross, Josh Bromfield, the 25 of Edward Belair, the 3 machine of Al Reed, in that 40 ride of Thomas Martucci, rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack. Johnny Thunders, Chad Lancaster, Anthony Garland, Devin Black, and Wayne Garland rounding out our top 15 here, as some drivers running into early issues here. Gary Wright back there in 16th. That's where we see Robert Tuwiscu there in 17th. Billy Jordan back in 18th. Killingbeck a lap down there in 19th. Then we see Adolfo, we see Thomas Riles, and we see that 06 of Chantel Pottle all rolling back out onto the racetrack there. And unfortunately for our bottom 4 competitors, already a lap down early in this race, and no caution flags early on here. Definitely going to make things that much tougher for them out on the racetrack. So it's going to make things very, very tough. It's going to make things a little crazy for them to try to bounce back into it and try to work themselves back into the show here this afternoon. They're going to need maybe a couple caution flags or a few caution flags, hoping to get back into the swing of things here this evening, as we were off last Sunday for Easter Sunday, and for these drivers it allowed them to spend a little extra time with their friends and family and enjoy their Easter weekend without having to worry about showing up and going to the racetrack here in the Outcast Racing League. So a nice weekend off. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful Easter, but these drivers, they've been running, they've been itching to get back behind the wheel and duke it out here again on a Sunday evening, as that 15 ride of Cameron Combs, he continues to lead the way. McKinney now up into 2nd as Kurt Sponsler falls back into position number 4. A good battle brewing back here for position number 4 as Sponsler there in 3rd. Chris Muse, Tyler Humphrey in the 77 ride of Casey Gross. They're duking it out back here for that 4th position. As Adam Oxley, what's good, Adam? Adam coming in showing the love, says, A-Ron, what's good, Adam? How are you, Mr. Oxley? Adam coming in showing the love here in this one. How are you, brother? How's your Sunday afternoon going? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, as the racing action here on the Outcast Racing League is not slowing down one little bit. Now, for these drivers, there is a good break, as we do have stage breaks here in the series, so you can get a lap back if you're down a lap early on. You can kind of battle back into it. You can get lucky with one of those stage breaks, maybe get back onto the lead lap, try to play out that strategy game a little bit, but you gotta wait a little bit longer, as lap number 35 is when we will see that mandatory stage break on lap 35, and then again on lap number 70, and then our checkered flag there at 150 laps completed here tonight. So 35 and 70, the completion of those laps are our stage breaks here this evening. And for each and every one of these drivers trying to get those last little bit of points, just trying to make sure that they get enough points into their back pocket and try to stack those pennies into maybe putting on a show and racing your way into the playoffs here this year is definitely something that's always sticking in the back of the mind of each and every one of these competitors. Says Adam, I appreciate that, brother, coming in with that like on the stream. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do exactly what Mr. Oxley just did. Hit that thumbs up on the stream right now. Hit that like button on the broadcast. Help us out a ton here, even if we're no longer live. If you're rewatching the broadcast, make sure you guys hop in there, hit that thumbs up button, drop a couple comments, and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As out in front, continuing to lead the way here in this one, it is Cameron Combs. Combs in that Rockstar energy drink number 15 machine. He's been out in front. He's been that reflection of perfection, but hanging right there with him, only 2 car lengths back from his back bumper, is the 76 rider of Caleb McKinney. McKinney has not gone away yet. He's actually been slowly but surely reeling in our race leader. For Cameron Combs, maybe pushing that pace a little bit hard here. You're going to have to be very, very conscious and very careful of your tires, just trying to keep these cars underneath of you, not only for our the start of this race for that first stage in 35 laps, but you may want to try to save an extra set of tires, maybe not put an extra set on during that stage break and wait till the end of stage number 2 before putting a set on and making sure you get yourself some extra tires there late in this race. We see a couple late race caution flags. Maybe you can get your car fixed up, get those tires, and drive your way right to the front of the field, so it never hurts having those extra tires in your back pocket, using them late in these races. As out in front, Combs continuing to hold on to the race lead. Caleb McKinney, though, right there, still putting the pressure onto him here as they get a little bit of a gap now all the way back to our third place drivers. Chris Hughes about 2 seconds back there from that battle for the top spot here. He's holding on to third as Casey Gross up into fourth. Tyler Humphrey there in fifth, with Kurt Sponsler falling all the way back now into that 6th position. Josh Bromfield there in 7th with Al Reed in the Elite Sim Racing CZX Digital. RT3 Designs number 3 machine back there in the 8th spot with Edward Belair and Thomas Martucci. Martucci back there, he rolls in that 10th position as we've been caution free. Nothing but good hard racing here early on, as we do see the 84 ride Wayne Garland. Wayne finding another gear here. I don't feel like we've seen Wayne out there on the racetrack for the last couple of weeks, and here he is tonight, having an amazing paint scheme. The original Outcast himself out there on the racetrack in that Outcast Racing League Peacemaker Gaming number 84 ride. He just went around Johnny Thunders like he was kind of standing still there. That was a battle for position number 11, and now Wayne trying to hunt down Martucci here for position number 10 on the racetrack. Wayne finding some good speed here in this one, as we do see, I do believe that's Billy Jordan finally making his way. Oh man, and more issues here for Billy Jordan down into the inside fence here on the back apron out of corner number 2, and unfortunately for him, just trying to keep that car rolling on the racetrack, not going to bring out that caution flag as of yet. We'll have to keep an eye on him here as he's trying to navigate this car back down potentially pit side, as he's now got heavy left front and right front damage on that Toyota. So he's looking to take that thing down pit road and get repaired. Unfortunately, already a lap or 2 down, going to probably fall a couple more laps down out there going down pit side here before that stage break. And for the 14 ride, definitely not the way he wanted things to start here this evening. As Cameron Combs out in front, continue to lead the way. Caleb McKinney there in 2nd. Chris Hughes back in position number 3 here. And with some of these drivers running into problems, they're starting to go a lap or multiple laps down here. Adolfo Castillo just went a 2nd lap down out there on the racetrack. Thomas Riles a few laps down. Same with Chantel Bottle back there in 22nd. Billy Jordan now going multiple laps down, as well as Killingbeck currently holds on to that free pass position right now on the racetrack. He's still sitting in that free pass spot, just hoping to see this stage break and seeing this one kind of come to a close in that first stage, getting that wave around and getting back into the battle here after having to start down off pit side here. But this 81 ride of Anthony Garland, he is now the first or last driver on the lead lap right now. And our race leaders, they are too far back there behind him. A set of corners back behind that number 81 machine. And for Cameron Combs, trying to put some more of these drivers a lap down before this stage comes to a close. Could be a big call as, oh, big hit right there for Denny Hamlin as well. We got the NASCAR race up there. That's not Denny Hamlin, that is Christopher Bell, I believe. Yeah, that's Seabell. Big hit right there for Seabell in the 20 ride. I do believe we saw potentially another driver collected there, as well as a couple cautions there in Talladega Super Speedway here at the NASCAR Cup Series over there on Fox. I do believe that is Chris Buescher into a fence again as well. Man, tough break there for a couple fast cats, good drivers there in that Cup Series, and running into issues already in this one. Too early for a lot of tore up race cars, as we already saw Brad Kay take out a couple early on, and now we see a couple more drivers running into problems. As Cameron Combs, though, he's out in front. Combs leading this race with Caleb McKinney. They're in position number 2. Chris Muse back there in 3rd with Tyler Humphrey. Casey Gross, hard top 5 with Al Reed, now up into 6. Josh Bromfield there in 7th, and it's Wayne Garland up into position number 8. Wayne continue to race his way towards the front of the field. Here is Kurt Sponsler back there in 9th. Edward Belair rounding out our top 10. Thomas Martucci there in 11th with Johnny Thunders. Devin Black, Gary Wright, Chad Lancaster, Robert Tuiscu, and Anthony Garland. Our top 17 still on the lead lap here this evening. So right now, this 81 ride trying to stay on the lead lap before the end of this stage, as Cameron Combs not too far behind him, continues to track him down, continues to hunt him down, and there's still a few more laps left to go here in this one. Now, if he can catch up and put that 81 ride a lap down, that could potentially lock that 70 ride there a lap down back in position number 18, as the free pass would then transfer over to that 81 ride. And right now, that could be a big option, could be a big play, trying to keep a fast driver like Mike Killing back there and down a lap out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see if he tries to pick up that pace, see if he can try to hunt down that 81 ride here late in this first stage, as Caleb McKinney now sliding backwards here himself. The Overton 76 machine back there in position number 2, as Chris Muse right there in his back bumper. Tyler Humphrey right there, as well as our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers now right there tight together, as Cameron Combs has himself a 1.5 second lead, 1.5 seconds between himself and the rest of the field here, as McKinney and all these other cats back there, unfortunately, just trying to hunt him down, trying to figure out a way to knock him out of this top spot. But right now, he is the reflection of perfection here this evening, as Chris Muse down low, looking to take second back away from the 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney, though, gonna keep strong and keep battling here to the outside of that number 99 ride, as they continue to fight back here for that second spot. It's allowing Cameron Combs to just run away with this stage win, as down into corner number 3, nice and easy down out of corner number 4. He won't catch Anthony Garland, as Cameron Combs will pick up stage win number 1 here this afternoon. So Cameron Combs picking up that first stage win here this evening, hitting that 15 ride up and into the top spot here. Is no caution flag as of yet. I don't know if we're going to see the yellow flag come out. There it is. And you see Anthony Garland, he's trying to keep that car pointed the right direction there. I don't know if they got the bot turned on to automatically do it, or it looks like maybe he was doing that manually and unfortunately almost wrecked himself right there. Luckily enough, able to keep himself out of trouble there at the end of this stage. Stage number 1 coming to a close, and it is Cameron Combs who picks up that stage win. Chris Muse there in 2nd. Caleb McKinney going to come home in 3rd, with Tyler Humphrey, Casey Gross, Al Reed, Wayne Garland back in 7th, Josh Bromfield, Kurt Sponsler, and Edward Belair, all earning some points there in stage number 1 is our top 10 out there on the racetrack. As we'll get them stacked up, we'll get them racked up, and we'll get ready to go back to battles. Here we go. Drivers are going to head down pit side. Now it's going to be interesting to see on whether or not they go with, you know, a 2-tire stop, 3-tire stop, what their plan is going to be out there on the speedway, and what they want to do here is, we'll see this beautiful, located in Graham, Kentucky, the beautiful Muscle-Love Poodles, and I do believe it is the, let me get another look at this car here. It is the beautiful looking Silver Mule Whiskey Ride. Silver Mule Whiskey Ride. I'm a huge whiskey drinker, man. I like whiskey, so that's going to be, that could be a good one. Humphrey may have to hook me up, brother. May have to get me hooked up there with a bottle. Send it up here to Canada, brother. I'll give it a test. I'll give it a taste test. As you see these drivers down pit road, looks like everyone pretty much going to take fuel only here. Not a whole lot of tires being thrown onto these cars. Everyone coming down pit side, getting a little bit of fuel. You do see some tires going on to this 60 machine at Johnny Thunders. A few drivers taking that risk, taking those early tires here this afternoon. We'll have to keep an eye. There's Tuiscu. He's putting tires onto the Elite Sim Racing RT3 Designs Peacemaker Gaming number 6 ride. As you'll get the tires, you'll get the fuel, you'll get ready to roll back out onto the racetrack. Is out in front, leading the way. It is this 15 of Cameron Combs. Now you do see that 31 ride at the front of the field there. That is Adolfo Castillo. So Adolfo, he's looking for that wave around, trying to get a lap back here this afternoon. And being at the front of the field right now, he is going to get that wave around. He will get a lap back, and he'll be now scored the first driver one lap down out there on the racetrack. For Mike Gillingback, he also gets that wave around right there. That stage break came at a perfect time for the Quantum Motorsports Lawrence Tech University as the 70 ride back onto the lead lap and back into contention here this evening. So we'll have to keep an eye on Gillingback and if he can race his way up towards the front of the field as we get stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here once again here in this one as Cameron Combs, Chris Muse, Caleb McKinney are top 3 out there on the speedway. They've been very, very fast. They've shown some good speed under their rides, but is there somebody else back here maybe just trying to play things a little bit more conservative early on in this race? Maybe just trying to lay back, take it a little easy, wait for their time to strike, wait to make a big move and see if they can show that speed later on in this race. Maybe surprise a couple of these drivers and catch them on their heels and or not on their tippy toes out there and kind of lay back out there and not expecting someone else to find that extra speed. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Is out in front, Cameron Combs getting ready for this restart here. So Combs is our race leader. Chris Muse this time lays back a little bit more and unfortunately does not get a good launch because of it as the 15 ride rolls early in that Geico restart zone here in this one. Quickly onto the loud pedal and quickly open up a sizable lead between himself and McKinney. Hughes unfortunately slides all the way back into position at number 3 as Casey Gross there in 4th. Back in 5th with Wayne Garland up and into that 6th position. Wayne has been having himself one heck of a day here this afternoon. That 84 ride is looking very, very fast, looking very good out there on the racetrack, but now we're going to get into that area where fresh tires versus those old tires, man. It's going to be interesting to see on some of these drivers. Like, you look back here at the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders. He's now into that 10th position. How much are those fresh tires going to pay off here for him in this second stage? Is he going to be able to just drive his way to the front of the field and maybe steal the stage win and earn himself a bunch of extra points and a bonus playoff point here this evening? We'll have to wait and see if these drivers kind of here as he's just trying to navigate his way around a lot of them. You do see that 99 right at Chris Muse now falling all the way back into position number 9 here. Tough break there for Chris Muse as Muse all the way now to 10th and looks like he may lose that 10th position to the 25 with Edward Belair. As Belair will roll around him and now Chris Muse goes from restarting on the front row to all of a sudden back in position number 11 on the racetrack is McKinney out in front. He's able to take that race lead away from Cameron Combs. So some of these fresher tires, some of these drivers just trying to hang on and play some of this strategy game here. Really starting to take shape in this race as McKinney takes the race lead away from Cameron Combs, and N Sea Combs falling like a rock here himself. Unfortunately, that pit cycle definitely did something to these tires, and for that 99 and for the 15 ride, they are falling back in a quick hurry here this afternoon. And for Combs, he's now back into the 9th position as there goes that 0-2 of Chet Lancaster in the N Sea NSB 0-2 ride. Huge shout out here as well to N Sea NSB, man. Huge sponsors here on the channel for the Outcast Racing League. We can't thank Lancaster and the N Sea NSB for all their support here in the series and in multiple series here now with this amazing group of drivers as the Big Dog Motorsports ride rolling back there just inside the top 8 on the racetrack. Beautiful looking ride, beautiful looking car, and we can't thank himself and N Sea NSB enough for everything that they do here on the channel and for the Outcast Racing League, man. Such a good guy out there, and we love to see the support and camaraderie and everything else as these guys continue to battle, continue to duke it out there on the speedways, out in front, continuing to lead the way. Is that number 76 ride, Caleb McKinney. McKinney out in front here by only a quarter of a second as Casey Gross right there behind him, not letting him run away with it. That 3 machine of Al Reed now up into that 3rd spot on the speedway. Then we see Wayne Garland, Kurt Sponsler, Johnny Thunders there in 6th. Gary Wright now up into 7th, and Lancaster back there in position number 8, position number 8 on the racetrack with Tuiscu there in 9th. Edward Belair back in 10th with Killingbeck there in 11th. And for the Garland, Thomas Martucci, Devin Black, Cameron Combs there in 15th. Chris Muse back in 16th. Tyler Humphrey there in 17th. And Josh Bromfield running out our lead lap drivers there in the 18th position. Unfortunately for Adolfo Castillo, he finds himself down pit road here, making this green flying pit stop. Did not come down pit lane, was able to get that wave around and trying to work his way into that 1 lap downer into a free pass position out there for that Quantum Motorsports Poultry Shack 31 ride, but now down pit side here. Looks like he is actually going to lose at least another lap, maybe even 2 out there on the racetrack as he still sits down on pit road. Gets that car fueled back up as here comes our race leaders back down around him. That's going to put him at now 3 laps down out there on the speedway. That is a heartbreaker there for the 31 ride. It's tough to come back from that. Hoping just to see everyone else out there on the racetrack having to make this green flag pit stop. But for Adolfo, I don't think they're going to have to. They should be able to make it to the end of this stage without having to come down pit side, and that could trap him about 3 laps back there behind everybody else. As Caleb McKinney there in 2nd now as Casey Gross able to take that race lead back away from him. So Casey now out in front as our new race leader here this afternoon. Al Reed there in 3rd. Wayne Garland up into 4th, and he's starting to put the pressure on these guys as the original Outcast out there on the speedway looking to bring that beautiful NASCAR Cup Series Outcast Racing League N Sea NSB number 84 ride up and into victory lane. Kurt Sponsler and his NOS Energy Elite Sim Racing 49 ride back there in position number 5 with Johnny Thunders, Chad Lancaster, Gary Wright, Robert Tuiscu, and Edward Belair. Our top 10 out there on the speedway. And some great racing action. All these drivers doing a fantastic job out there on the racetrack, but it is Casey Gross who continues to lead the way, showing these drivers how to get it done, and he's hoping that he can build up a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. Still a lot of laps left to go here in stage number 2. About 15 laps left to go this next time by the start finish line. So for that 77 ride, knowing that you got about 15 laps or so to try to make a move, to try and put some of these other drivers that were fast early on a lap down as they're on different pitch strategies here. And for cats like Cameron Combs and Tyler Humphrey, Chris Muse, if they go a lap down out there on the racetrack, it could really hurt them out there on the speedway. So they're going to be looking to make some big moves and try to put themselves into a position here this afternoon to maybe steal some stage points, maybe to put these guys a lap down back there and keep them back at bay. As you see Combs, he's all the way back here in this 15th position, and he's just trying to hang on to it, man. And same with Chris Muse, Tyler Humphrey right there as well, and not too far behind these guys. You do see Josh Bromfield. He's the last driver on the lead lap, and as he rolls just down past the start-finish line into corner number 1, there's our race leader just coming out at corner number 4. So really only about a straightaway between the 77 and that number 12 ride out there on the racetrack, and not too far in front of him, you do see Combs and Muse and Tyler Humphrey. So another very curious situation here for our race leader, where you want to try to save your equipment a little bit, not wanting to see this caution flag, as we do see the yellow flag come out. So the caution flag is going to fly here on the racetrack, as I do believe we're going to see the number 02 ride tore up down here on the back straightaway here. Heavy damage. That car just crab walking, sliding down the racetrack here into corner number 3. Heavy damage here for that 02 ride. Let's take a look back and see what happens, as looks like contact between Lancaster and Robert Tuiscu here. Tuiscu working down low. Lancaster actually bounces it off the outside fence here. So the 6 ride, just wrong place, wrong time. Trying to take advantage of him, trying to take that spot away, and we're going to watch this number 2, the 02 right here. Comes up the racetrack on corner exit, pancakes off the outside fence. That just takes a lot of his momentum and speed away. Unfortunately for Tuiscu, nowhere for him to go. Gets a piece of them there. They both get down, hard contact into that inside fence together, and you see the 6 spinning around, the 02 pointing the wrong direction, and that's where we see this yellow flag flying. Oh, the 25 ride, nowhere to go as well. Oh, that was a big hit right there for that 25 of Edward Belair. Belair back here. He gets a great look at it, sees these guys going around, sees the troubles down low, and unfortunately just stays in the throttle, tries to aim for the middle, and unfortunately gets a big piece of both of those drivers. Heavy damage there for him, and I do believe another driver getting some damage there could have been this number 81, Anthony Garland. Is Garland, he's trying to get through there as well. Actually, Garland gets through, but the 40 ride here, I do believe, not going to get so lucky. Thomas Martucci going to slide in there. He ends up getting a big piece of, I do believe, the 6 ride right here. Is because he gets into the back end of the 81, not realizing that they're spinning out and that everyone is already stacked up, and he ends up right there into that right rear quarter panel of that 6 ride. Heavy left front damage there for Martucci, as another Big Dog Motorsports ride getting tore up in that one. So a couple of them getting some pretty heavy damage if they're on the racetrack, and have to use those quick repairs, have to try to get these cars fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. Is Hypershift. What's good? Hypershift Racing League coming in with that like on the stream, showing the love here in this one, and Georgina coming in as well with that follow over there on Twitch. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this evening. These drivers going to get ready to duke it out here once again, and for those drivers that were on the edge of their seats and potentially could have been going a lap down here in this second stage, that caution flag saves them, keeps them on the lead lap, and now with less than 10 laps to go here before this second stage break, they can just kind of hang out back there, chillax, not have to push the subject, not have to worry about going a lap down. And for Cameron Combs, Tyler Humphrey, Chris Muni, a lot of these drivers, they're just kind of chilling back there. They did come down pit road that last lap around, so they got some fresh fuel into their cars, maybe some fresh tires. Maybe now they want to flip this stage and race their way into the front of the field. We do see Wayne Garland was down pit side, and his the beautiful Outcast Racing League 84 ride there in the 15th position now. Robert Tuiscu getting his car repaired. Edward Belair, Chad Lancaster down pit side. Lancaster and Belair both scored a lap down now. Chantel Pottle a lap or multiple laps down. Same with the Adolfo Castillo and Billy Jordan. Thomas Riles multiple laps down back there in 22nd as Belair still down on pit road here. Definitely not where the beautiful number 25 ride wants to be, down on pit road as everyone else goes back. The battle continues to duke it out here as Casey Gross out in front, going to hang on to that race lead, sends it down into corner number 1. The 76 ride trying to put that pressure onto his back bumper as McKinney looking to try to put himself into the top spot here in stage number 2. Alan Reed there in 3rd. Kurt Sponsler up into 4th. Johnny Thunders there in 5th. Anthony Garland up and into 6th here is Mike Killenbank, Devin Black, and Josh Bromfield. Gary Wright rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack. Wright trying to stay in that 10th position as there goes Chris Hughes down to his inside, and the number 15 ride right there as well. Cameron Combs making quick work of them, going right around that 16 run, going right around that 12 run. Is now Romfield sliding outside the top 10 as he just sees those three cars just steamroll right on by him there, with Chris Muse leading that fresh tire pack, trying to race his way back up to the front of the field here. Unfortunately, maybe running out of time, but trying to earn as many stage points as possible here this afternoon as Casey Gross out in front, down across the line. He sees only about 6-7 laps left to go here in this second stage. Now he's got that 76 of Caleb McKinney right there on his back bumper. They got a bit of a gap over a second now. Back to this 3 right of Al Reed. A little farther back you do see Kurt Sponsler, Johnny Thunders, Mike Killingback right there. The 7 right of Devin Black in that 7th position as Cameron Combs has worked his way around the 99 right of Chris Muse. Muse back into 9th, but Cameron Combs looking to get to the outside of the 7 right, looking to try to take position number 7 away from that 7 machine as Casey Gross, the 77, going to click another lap up, down back across the start-finish line here at Dover International Speedway. And we see lap 66 get up onto the board there. Oh, clickety-click here this afternoon, and this race is quickly coming to a close here. These drivers laying down a lot of great laps in a quick hurry out there on the speedway, and somehow or another stage number 2 almost coming to a close here as we're only a couple of laps away from it. Now you start to see this 76 ride really putting the pressure, taking a look down low, looking to try to take this race lead away from Casey Gross. Casey goes up the racetrack right there, and down low it's Caleb McKinney who's going to roll right on around him here and take that top spot late in stage number 2. So now taking that race lead, going to look to try to run away with it here and trying to pick up that stage 2 win, which will give him extra points here on the season, but also give him an extra bonus point towards our playoffs. So those bonus points can go a long way, helping you advance and work yourself through each and every one of these rounds and putting yourself into that championship race here late in this season at Daytona International Speedway. As Caleb McKinney out in front, that number 77 Casey Gross rolls there in second. Al Reed back in third with Cameron Combs there in fourth. Tyler Humphrey back in position number 5. Chris Muse there in 6 with Kurt Sponsler, Mike Killingback, Johnny Thunders, and Devin Black riding out our top 10 out there on the racetrack as Devin holding on to that 10th position. But here comes that 84 ride here as that is Wayne Garland. Wayne trying to pick up some more stage points here himself, looking for a good run from deep in the field after coming down pit side and getting some work done to that 84 machine as he rolls back there a little deeper in the field. What's good? Playford Sheets. Playford coming in, shoulder off with that like on the shoot. How are you, Playford Sheets? As Caleb McKinney out in front, looking to try to pick up stage win number 2 here this afternoon. Down across the line, that will be the end of our second stage here this evening. Caution flag should come out here in just a few more moments as there it is. There is that yellow flag. Stage at number 2 going to the 76 as Caleb McKinney gets the job done here in this second stage. That's going to earn him 10 points towards the regular season points and also give him an extra bonus point towards the playoffs here this year as well. So an extra bonus point going to that 76 ride. Casey Gross back there in second, Al Reed there in third, Cameron Combs and Tyler Humphrey rounding out our top 5. Chris Muse there in 6, Kurt Sponsler, Mike Killingback, Devin Black, and Wayne Garland rounding out our top 10, all earning some stage points right there as all these drivers are going to be thinking about what they need to do here. Do you come down pit side? Do you make that pit stop here? Give up maybe some of that track position, but putting those fresh tires and fuel into your car. Know that we're going to get another long run and another opportunity here for drivers to try and take this win here this afternoon, and that's where the big question mark is going to be here. We see 2 35-lap runs to start this race, and now we're going to see potentially a even longer run. I do believe it's scheduled for 80 laps here. Lap 70 to lap 150, so potentially an 80-lap or 75-lap run here to the end of this race when we go back to green flag racing. So that's a lot of laps. That's 40 more than what we've raced here the last little bit. So, or well, 30 more, right? No, 40 more than what we've ran here over the last little bit. So basically double what our 2 stages were right there. So that's going to make cars handle completely differently. The track is taking on rubber. It's making drivers really have to think about their game plan and what they need to do or where they need to be out there, as some of these cats getting fuel only right there. As Cameron Combs going to come out with the race lead. So Cameron Combs now out in front once again. Going to reconsume this race lead. Caleb McKinney back into second. Tyler Humphrey there in third with Chris Muse back there in fourth. Now Reed, Mike Killingbeck, Johnny Thunders there in seventh. We see Kurt Sponsler there in eighth. Gary Wright, Devin Black rounding out our top 10 as we'll get them ready to get stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle as we still wait for a few drivers to come down pit road here and complete their pit stops as Casey Gross just rolling back out. You see the 81. 84 Wayne Garland, that 06 right. All these drivers knowing that they gotta quickly get back onto the throttle here and roll down around the racetrack before that pace car comes in, puts them a lap down as well. As we do see Chad Lancaster scored right now as a lap down. Robert Tuiscu a couple laps down looking for the wave around. Same with that 31 of Adolfo Castillo here looking for that wave here this afternoon, trying to put himself back to, I do believe, at least 1, maybe 2 laps down out there on the speedway. Thomas Martucci, he finds himself a few laps down. That 40 Ryan parked down pit side, getting some heavy repairs here. A couple laps down, now scored back in 20th. Edward Belair, multiple laps down there in 21st. And Thomas Riles, I do believe, in the 26th ride, has taken his car down behind pit wall. So for the 26th of Thomas Riles, looks like his night is over here this evening as we'll get all these drivers locked and loaded and ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out again here this evening as Cameron Combs out in front, leading the way here. Combs ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here in this one. So we'll take a look and see as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Combs out in front, the 76 ride right there in second. Another big restart here, another opportunity for Cameron to try to get a good launch, pull away, and potentially open up a pretty sizable lead between himself and the rest of this field as halfway in, halfway to go in this race here as lap number 75 will go up and onto the board here this evening as here we go, back to battle here at Dover International Speedway. Green flag back out into the air in the 15 of Cameron Combs, quickly back onto the lap pedal, looking to try to stretch out that race lead between him and Caleb McKinney. McKinney's been chasing down these drivers, has led some laps here himself this afternoon, and won that second stage, looking to try to put himself right back out in front as T. Humphrey right there as well. Tyler Humphrey in that silver mule whiskey ride back there in position number 3. Chris Muse in his Fastenal 99 ride there in fourth, and Al Reed in that RT3 Designs Sim Racing CCX Digital number 3 ride on our top 5. Killingbeck, we saw go a lap down early in this race after missing the start of this feature event in that Lawrence Technology University ride, that Lawrence Tech University machine back there in position number 6 as the NOS Energy ESR ride. That is Kurt Sponsler down to his inside. Here comes Devin Black in the Poor Boy Motorsports number 7 ride. Here comes Johnny Thunders and Gary Wright bringing up the rear of our top 10 here this afternoon. As Cameron Combs out in front will click off another lap here at the beautiful Dover International Speedway, and just being over halfway in and less than halfway to go now here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and get ready here for a show as, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to crank it up here this afternoon. and gentlemen, boys and girls, get up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session here again this afternoon for the Outcast Racing League. Is out in front, continuing to lead the way. It's Cameron Combs as the little bit of fog, a little bit of a mist is starting to dissipate, and we're starting to see that sun come back out here in Dover. It is the 15 who continues to lead the way, but right there behind him, keeping the pressure on his back bumper, is that number 9 right at Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey rolling there in position number 2, right there within striking distance a couple times, has gotten back to the rear bumper of our race leader, but hasn't been able to really put the pressure on, hasn't been able to get down to the inside or look to try to take that race lead away here this afternoon as he continues to roll there in second. We'll see if he can make a late race charge, his potentially green flag pit stops just around the corner for some of these drivers. It's been about 30 laps, almost 40 laps here since they came down pit road and made those pit stops during the stage 2 break. So for a lot of these drivers, he'll definitely going to start to become an issue. They were down pit road on lap 72, so yeah, almost 40 laps of racing action here. Caution free, nothing but hard fought racing out there on the racetrack, and green flag pit stops could become a viable possibility here in a quick hurry. As we do see Johnny Thunders here, he is now scored as the first driver 1 lap down, back in that 13th position. He's got that number 99 of Chris Muse right there behind him. As we do see Caleb McKinney going to be one of those first drivers to come down pit road here. Now here comes Casey Gross in the Quantum Motorsports 77 ride. Mike Killingbeck also coming down pit road. They're in that 70 machine. So here we go. Those green flag pit stops, they are starting to come up as drivers splitting this final stage kind of right in half there. They went about 40 laps and then come down pit side. They got about 40 laps left to go here, just a little under 40 laps left. So splitting the stage up, allowing them to kind of have those good tires for a little bit of half and half of this final stage. Now hoping to just see this stage kind of cycle through. Everyone would come down pit side. If a couple of drivers like to stay out a little bit longer and we see that caution flag fly, they can quickly become a couple laps down out there on the racetrack. Here we go. You finally see McKinney roll back out there onto the racetrack. He has scored back there in that 13th position. Here comes Casey Gross rolling back out onto the speedway there. He's in 14th, and right now they are sitting 1 lap down and could get trapped a lap down in a quick hurry. As Cameron Combs staying out there, not coming down pit side as of yet. Either is Tyler Humphrey. Josh Bromfield now up and into position number 3 here. Bromfield has been finding a lot of speed here late in this run, and he's getting this 12 machine up there towards the front of the field. As now we do see Tyler Humphrey head down pit side. Bromfield, he's closed the gap on our race leader by about a second over the last handful of laps or so. So he's been laying down much better lap times than Cameron Combs. Last time around, he was about a tenth and a half quicker still than that 15 machine. So he is hunting Combs down out there on the speedway, and Bromfield looking to try to maybe jump up there and battle for this race lead as Chris Muse there in 3rd. Devin Black back in 4th. Gary Wright, Kurt Sponsler. Our top 6 is Tyler Humphrey down pit side here. Humphrey, we saw him head down pit road. Same with Al Reed, Wayne Garland. Johnny Thunders headed down pit side. Anthony Garland down pit road as well. No caution flag as of yet. No issues out there on the racetrack, but for these 6 drivers that are extending this drive, staying out there a little bit longer now, they're going to be giving up time to a lot of these drivers with those fresh tires here for quite a little while. But as we see this kind of cycle back through and see these drivers roll back out there, as there you go, you do see that 15 ride roll around the 9 of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey now going to be scored as the first driver 1 lap down. Now may take a lap or 2 to kind of build up that speed, build up that momentum, and try to get that car underneath of him here. As you see the 12 ride of Bromfield there, able to go around him as well. And now we'll keep an eye on this. You're going to be able to see these fresh tires and how easily he's able to battle back down low around this 12 ride and just pull down into corner number 1. Big run there for him, and quickly pulling away from that number 12 ride. You can see how much faster these fresh tires are, and it's going to potentially force a lot of these drivers to come down pit side here. As you do see Bromfield looks like he's checking up. He's looking to come down pit road. As there we go, he's going to make that left-hand turn and down pit side. Seeing with Billy Jordan coming back back down for another pit stop there in his 14 Toyota. As out in front, it is this beautiful Chevrolet, the Rockstar Energy Machine. That is the 15 of Cameron Combs, who continues to lead this race. There's that 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey going to go right on around him there, making that pass, getting back in front of that 15 machine. Cameron Combs is going to stay out for another lap. Is Humphrey able to put himself at least back to 1 lap down, as he was actually 2 laps down there on the racetrack, but now only 1 lap down out there on the speedways. Here we go. We see Chris Muse, Devin Black, Josh Bromfield down pit road here as well. So a lot of these other drivers that were in those 6 cats left the left the pit, all coming down pit side. And now here comes our race leader. Here comes that 15 ride, getting onto the binders right there. You see him skidding those tires, trying to make sure he gets this car stopped and slowed up. Trying to get a speeding penalty here and throw this race out the window for himself. Kurt Sponsler looks like he is the last driver to come down pit road here. Looks like he's about to head down pit side here himself, as the 49 ride down low, nice and easy on the apron, and we're going to get through a nice clean cycle of green flag pit stops. So we'll keep an eye on Cameron Combs, as Combs, he is just rolling down into his pit stall here. So Combs just heading down pit road, and for the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey, he's heading down the back straightaway nice and easy down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. He's looking down this front straightaway and looking to put that 15 ride of Cameron Combs back behind him. This is where those fresh tires pay off there, coming down pit road a little bit earlier. And for this 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey, he's able to use that to his advantage. Now jumps out in front, takes the race lead away from Cameron Combs. Combs now over 5 seconds, back to almost about 6 seconds, as he's just building up that speed down the back straightaway, and it's grown to about 6 seconds. The gap between Tyler Humphrey and Cameron Combs, that's the difference of 6 laps being out there with the fresher tires over this number 15 right now. Cameron Combs, he's got the fresher tires, he's got the faster car. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to find that extra speed, find that extra gear, and race his way up towards the front of the pack here again, see if he can hunt down this 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey before this race comes to a close. He may not have enough time with only, 27 laps left to go in this race. Does he have enough time to close that 6-second gap and hunt down our race leader and potentially battle here for this race win this afternoon? Or was the pit strategy the right call there for that 9 ride, coming down a little bit earlier, having those 6 laps of extra fresh tires over that number 15 ride, potentially going to leapfrog him into the front of the field and running away with this race? We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, as right now that gap, it is still about 6 seconds. He hasn't made up too much ground on that 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. It may take a few more laps for Tyler's tires really to start to fall off if they're on the speedway. And for Cameron Combs, definitely not the spot he wanted to be in late in this race, knowing that he has to play this catch-up game. He has to hunt down that 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey and trying to put himself into the top spot. Chris Muse back there in position number 4. He's looking for more, as well as he's trying to hunt down our top 3 out there on the speedway, as beautiful Fastenal 99 right there in that 4th position. Caleb McKinney, who we saw come down pit road very early, a lot earlier than the rest of these drivers, back down pit road on lap 110. He's only up and into that 5th position. Casey Gross back there behind him in position number 6. Now they got some of the oldest tires out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see, how long those tires can hold up, and if they can hold some of these other cats back there at bay, like Devin Black. And unfortunately, trying to catch up to some of those guys in front of them is going to be one tall task, as they got a lot fresher tires than what they do. And unfortunately for them, they are not running anywhere close to the same lap times as what our race leader is, or this number 15 of Cameron Combs. There goes Combs around that number 12 ride of Josh Bromfield. So Bromfield already falling back into 3rd. Cameron Combs back up into 2nd. The gap is 5.4 seconds. So over the last few laps, he's been able to gain quite a bit of time here. Really close that gap on our race leader. Last time around, he was about 2/10 quicker than Tyler Humphrey. So Cameron Combs, he is coming. Does he have enough time, though? 2/10 a lap. Does he have enough time to close that gap? Still about just over 5 seconds between himself and our race leader. 20 laps left to go. It could get tight, chat. It could get tight, but Humphrey's tires are going to continue to fall off, going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, and we'll have to wait and see, how good these things are going to be later on this afternoon. How good these tires will be out there on the speedway after 15, 20, maybe 30 laps of racing action as T. Humphrey continues to show these drivers around Dover International Speedway. These guys are laying down these laps in a quick hurry. This may be one of the quickest Outcast Racing Leagues I think we've done in the history of the Outcast Racing League. Not a lot of caution flags, not a lot of action out there, not a lot of carnage out there on the speedway, and these drivers are doing a great job, some great racing action, and right now we only got 10 drivers left on the lead lap, and a little bit of a battle brewing as the gap continues to close. Oh man, last lap around was a big one there for Cameron Combs. He gained about, I'm going to say, over half a second right there. Over half a second between himself and Tyler Humphrey last time around the start-finish line. So he is coming. The gap is just over 3 seconds now between himself and Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey, he's got a little lap traffic here in front of him that he's got to try to navigate his way through. And unfortunately, having a hard time trying to get around this 81 of Anthony Garland. And not too far away, you do see a couple more drivers like Al Reed, Wayne Garland. These drivers trying to keep themselves on the lead lap. For Anthony, he's trying to stay one lap down back there in that 14th position. And for Tyler Humphrey, he's looking to just try to keep on pulling away from Cameron Combs, but being stuck back here behind some of these slower drivers, some of these drivers that aren't as fast as the 9 ride. Unfortunately, it has held him up quite a bit. It's allowed Cameron Combs to really chase him down here. It's less than 2.5 seconds between himself and Humphrey now on the racetrack. And again, this lap, he's going to click off another big chunk of change right there, about another half a second off of his race lead, and it's 2 seconds. The gap, 2 seconds between first and second out there on the speedway. Cameron Combs has the 6 lap better tires than Tyler Humphrey, and late in this race, that could be the difference maker, as Combs looking to pick up another big win here in his beautiful Outcast Racing League career, as he's right there battling hard, and over 16 laps left to go. I don't know how long this 9 ride can hold him back there. I don't know how long Tyler Humphrey can keep this number 15 back there at bay. We can already see him catching up to some of this lap traffic here, trying to work his way around the 81 of Anthony Garland, around that number 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck right here. Got up into the outside fence there, actually, just ever so slightly, but now down low, looking for a big run through 1 and 2, and he may be able to pass 2 or 3 of them right there as the 70 ride of Killingbeck gets held up a little bit from the 84 Wayne Garland, in down the back straightaway. There he goes. He clears all 3 of those lap down cars, and even though he had the battle there with them for a little bit, he did give a little time back up to that number 9 rider, Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey now again with a 2-second gap between himself and Cameron Combs, but I don't think there's really any drivers now in between these two. That's it. There is no drivers in between our race leaders here late in this race. And for Humphrey, he's just trying to run away with it, hoping that that 15 ride runs out of time. For Cameron Combs, he's trying to catch up to him, trying to hunt him down out there on the racetrack. He knows down across the line, he's got 13 laps left to go. He's got 13 laps to make up just under 2 seconds out there on the racetrack. And once you catch him, you got to figure out a way to get around him out there on the speedway. So for these cats, it's definitely going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding. That 9 ride's not just going to move over and let him have this win. He's going to have to battle hard with that 9 to Tyler Humphrey if he wants this dub here this evening. As again, another lap clicking off more time off of that scoreboard. It is down to about 1.5 seconds here between first and second. And for Humphrey, he knows that that 15 ride is coming. He's trying to put another car. That is Al Reed going to lap down, our 8th place driver. Now behind him here in between our race leaders here on the racetrack. Excuse me for a second. Oh my! Frog in the throat right there. Gosh darn, I almost died right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tyler Humphrey continuing to lead the way. That gap, though, it continues to close. You can see them both right there in frame. That silver bullet number 15 ride right here trying to hunt down our race leader. Tyler Humphrey, though, trying to keep him back there at bay. The gap is about a second now, but there goes another car. That's that 31 of Adolfo Castillo. Now back behind him as well. A couple cars in between himself and that 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs going to have to try to work his way around these guys quickly. Makes quick work of the 31 as Adolfo just moves up and out of the way there and allows these drivers to duke it out. Al Reed, though, he's going to continue to put up a fight as he wants to be scored as the first driver, one lap down, as right now he's in that free pass position, but he can't hang on for very long as there he goes, the 15 ride, quickly getting around that number 3 machine, and Cameron Combs, he's a man on a mission here late in this race. He knows he's starting to run out of time. It's 9/10 of a second between first and second out there on the racetrack, and for that Silver Mule Whiskey ride, that beautiful must-love Poodles machine, he's out in front looking to continue to keep that 15 ride back there at bay. Is down across the start-finish line. We will see 7 more laps left to go. 7 more laps left here in this race. And for the 9 ride, he's just hoping not to see a caution flag, want to see the stay clean and green, and hoping to see if he can keep that 15 ride back there at bay, hoping that his pit strategy played out perfectly here this afternoon. But now no cars really in front of him, no cars behind that 15 of Cameron Combs, and Combs is closing that gap lap after lap after lap, rolling closer and closer and closer to the back bumper here of our race leader. The gap is about half a second now between first and second out there on the racetrack. You can see them in the same frame now out there on the racetrack. They are both right there. This is going to come right down to the wire here as Humphrey continues to hang on to that race lead. Now he's got the older tires. The car is struggling a little bit here later in the run. The 15 ride has come as strong quickly to his back bumper, but the time is running out, and if that 9 ride can throw a couple big blocks here with only 5 laps left to go, could potentially hold him off and keep that 15 of Cameron Combs back there at bay. We'll have to wait and see if Cameron can make the move and can find his way around this number 9 ride, as he's got to be sizing him up, seeing where he's struggling, where he's good out there on the racetrack, and knowing where he needs to make his move, where he needs to strike here as he is there. Cameron Combs with 4 laps left to go on the back bumper, now looking down to the inside, almost gets into his left rear quarter panel right there, as they are only inches apart for the win here this afternoon at Dover International Speedway with the Outcast Racing League. Cameron Combs looking for the race lead. The 9 rider Tyler Humphrey not going to give it up. 3 laps left to go here at Dover. 3 more laps left here in this race, and for that 15 ride, he is a man on a mission. He has closed that 6-second gap and has found his way to the back bumper of this 9 rider Tyler Humphrey for the race lead, but it's going to come down to a late race move. He's got to find the run. He's got to find the lane. Here he is up on the high set of quarter number 3 and 4, getting a big run down the front straightaway. There's 2 laps left to go. 2 laps left to go. Only, 8 quarters left here for these drivers, and down through 1 and 2, he gets a good run here, gets down to the inside, still there down the back straightaway, shoots down low, looking to go door to door, down in through quarter 3 and out of 4. It's a drag race back to the start finish line as we see that white flag fly. 1 more time to go here for Tyler Humphreys. He looks to try to hold off this 15 rider Cameron Combs, but Combs down low, puts the throttle down, pulls out in front, and takes that race lead away from him. So Cameron Combs able to make the move here on the last lap and takes this race lead away for the final time. Down and out of quarter number 4, Humphrey couldn't hang on as the 15 of Cameron Combs steals this win away from the 9 ride. Cameron Combs out in front and gets the job done here at Dover International Speedway. Tyler Humphrey back there in second. Josh Bromfield coming home with a solid 3rd place run here this evening. Chris Muse there in 4th, and Caleb McKinney going to come home in position number 5. Devin Black, Casey Gross, Al Reed, Mike Killingbeck, and Gary Wright are top 10 here this afternoon. Shout out there to Gary Wright with a solid top 10 run here this evening. Wayne Garland back there in 11th, Kurt Sponsler, Johnny Thunders, Anthony Garland, Chantel Pottle, Billy Jordan, Thomas Martucci, Adolfo Castillo, Robert Duiscu, Chad Lancaster are top 20, with Edward Belair and Thomas Riles bringing up the rear of the field here this evening as Cameron Combs picking up the dub. He's going to celebrate here on the front straightaway as, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winners. Cameron Combs picks up a big checkered flag here this afternoon as that race virtually took about 1 hour and 6 minutes from the drop of the green flag flag here to that checkered flag. Probably the fastest Outcast Racing League race I think we have ever done. That is absolutely insane. This one just flew by, and for these drivers, I'm sure they are out of breath. They may need a couple minutes here to try to catch their breath after that amazing battle out there on the speedways. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Our race winner, Cameron Combs. Hey, Cameron, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Cameron, man, what a run, what a race, man, as you're able to hunt down that 9 ride late in this one after a little bit of pit strategy, and took you every single lap you had out there on the racetrack. Finally getting down to his inside there, coming to the white flag, and then down through 1 and 2, just putting that throttle down and taking that race lead away down the back straightaway to drive home and pick up another big checkered flag here in your Outcast Racing League career, man. Take us back through this race. So what's going through your mind there as you are on your game here this afternoon?
I definitely, I didn't think I was going to catch Tyler. As the lap started clicking down, I was like, I don't think I'm going to catch him. I tried pitting a little bit later than him to try to have that little bit of difference in tires for the end of the race, and ended up playing in our favor, but I got to thank Tyler for racing me good and clean there.
Absolutely could have threw some big blocks, could have tried to hold you up there for a couple laps and kept himself out in front, but left you the lane down low, and you were able to just put that power down, still with the fresher tires than that number 9 ride, and able to steal this win away from him, as things were looking very, very good for him for quite a while, and looked like maybe with some of that lap traffic he was getting held up in. If he would have been able to get through those guys a little quicker, could have been the difference maker tonight between him finding victory lane and holding you back here this evening, but unfortunately did not play out the way he wanted it to, but came oh so close to get the job done here in this one. But man, it's gonna feel good being able to finally make that last lap pass, take that race lead back away from him after what, 30-40 laps of just trying to hunt him down here late in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I really thought, as like after I came out of pit road, you could tell that it was going to be hard to catch him, and as the laps clicked down, I don't remember who it was. It was like Wayne, Anthony, and I think Killingbeck all in the same corner. And I didn't think after trying to get around them that I was going to be able to make it work, but I kind of got around them guys and made it work and got up and past Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. Heartbreaker there for Humphrey, but another big win here for yourself. Fans gonna feel good coming back from that Easter break and finding victory lane right out of the gate here to start virtually the second half of this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Cameron, great run, great race here this afternoon, brother. Who would you like to thank for such a strong performance out there on the Speedway?
I just got to thank the league sponsors, RT3 and Land and Sea. I got to thank all the guys over at ESR, all the admins that put this on every week. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. And just got to thank everybody that makes this league go around. Thank you for broadcasting, and yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Cameron, congratulations on the win here this afternoon, and what I would call probably the quickest Outcast Racing League race we've ever had here, especially at a short track like Dover International Speedway. Did not see this one coming up being such a quick race, but you guys just laying down some amazing laps, some good, hard green flag racing here this evening, and getting it done, putting yourself up and into victory lane. Cameron, congrats on the dub here this evening, and we can't wait to see you back if they're on the racetrack next Sunday.
Yep, thanks.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
You too, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Cameron Combs. Combs able to make that move and pick up the dub, as now we'll pull in our second place finisher, the driver that's got to feel pretty good at about what happened there, and unfortunately losing that race lead on that final lap. We'll pull in our second place finisher, Tyler Humphrey. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I do, Aaron.
Tyler, man, great run, great race here for you. Looked like that pit strategy was potentially going to work out and put you up and into victory lane here this afternoon at Dover International Speedway. But that 15 right of Cameron Combs was strong all day long, and late in this race with a little bit better tires was just tracking you down. And unfortunately, there on that final lap, you just could not hold him back as he was able to power down through 1 and 2 and steal this win away from you here this evening.
Oh man, what a race that was! That was so much fun. I really thought I had it there at the end. I saw Cameron um, crawling back up to me after that strategy, which that was a just spur of the moment thing. I was like, let's see if we can pull down pit road and catch a few of these guys out, and it worked. And to lead nearly the last 30 laps was really awesome. Man, that was so much fun. I mean, I know I finished second, but I enjoyed that so much to be able to have a final lap pass like that. I think that's great for the fans out there watching.
Yeah, absolutely. The final lap pass there, that battle and the hunt there with him tracking you down out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, it all comes down to that final lap. Those last set a couple corners in. Unfortunately, you give up that race lead and have to settle in for second here after the Easter holiday, man. You're going to be happy with your performance, though, and how strong you were able to run out there on the speedway here this afternoon.
Yeah, man, for sure. I had no practice. I was wanting to practice all week, and I just kept pushing it down the road a little bit. And today, finally, I hopped on for maybe 30 minutes. I was like, it feels okay. We'll see how it does in the race. And yeah, I would say it felt pretty good in the race. I was not expecting it to finish second, so that was an awesome result. Just awesome race in general. Not many cautions. I think maybe one or two. So for us, that is great. I mean, just overall, great day.
Yeah, great day, some great racing action. As you said, very minimal caution flags out there this afternoon, and that's what we talked to Cameron about a little bit, man. Probably the fastest race here in Outcast Racing League history, man. You guys click these laps off in a quick hurry, and being able to come home in second place there and so close to finding victory lane here yourself, man, has got to feel pretty dang special, man, and feel good having such a great performance out there on the racetrack in what was probably, as I said, the fastest race we've ever ran.
Yeah, just an unbelievable job by all these guys.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, great run, great race, and a solid performance for you here in second place this afternoon. Brother, who would you like to thank for such a great run here this evening?
Oh man, I'd like to thank just this whole group of guys. The Garland family for putting this on every week, all our admins, you for doing an amazing broadcast, man. I mean, I bet this was an absolute great finish to be calling today. I cannot wait to go back and watch it. I like to thank Team Chevy, Tampa Motorsports, Muscle of Poodles, Bar Distillery, Landesco, Isabel's Impact, everybody out there. Yeah, thank you all.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, we look forward to seeing you back out on the racetrack next Sunday and hopefully see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and up in victory lane yourself.
For sure, man. Hope to see you next week as well.
Beauty. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, our second place driver here this evening, the number 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. As Humphrey comes home there in position number 2, we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher here this evening. That number 9 or the number 12 ride of Josh Bromfield. Bromfield coming home here in position number 3 this afternoon. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Josh, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Not too bad, Josh, man. What a run, what a race here for you, brother. Coming home in position number 3 here to finish off this afternoon, as it seemed like such a good race for you, especially on these longer runs, and not seeing a lot of those caution flags here. None in that final stage. Really able to show off your speed and your ability out there on the speedways. So you were able to race your way all the way up here to a solid third-place performance.
Yeah, I struggled at the beginning of the race. I couldn't find my lines, couldn't find my groove. I didn't feed my bald eagle, and I started it later in the, I guess it was after the second stage. I'd fed the bald eagle during the pit, and we started flapping our wings. We found our groove. I tried to take 2 tires there at the end. I knew they were going to take 4 and see if I could just gain a little bit. But overall, really happy with it considering the way we started. I think I hit the wall every turn the first couple laps. So overall, it was pretty good.
Absolutely a pretty good day, especially how it ended here for yourself as you parked that number 12 right up here on the podium. Man, a solid run and a solid performance here at Dover International Speedway. And from what you said, man, hell of an improvement out there on the racetrack from those early stages here to the checkered flag as you're able to bounce back and put yourself up here in that 3rd spot. It's got to feel pretty dang good.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, I had to get up here so I could praise Ovechkin for hitting his goal. I know you like hockey too, so I wanted to do that. And also just thank Outcast Racing League for putting on a good race today. I think that's probably one of our best races with this one actual caution other than the stage cautions. And as always, we appreciate you for doing their broadcasts. So.
Absolutely, brother. That's what I was saying to Tyler and Cameron. I think this one's probably going to go into the history books as probably the quickest race I think we've ever done here with the Outcast Racing League, man. This one flew by in a quick hurry there with the very minimal caution flags. Obviously, the 1 for incident and 2 for stage breaks. But man, oh man, oh man. And no one, I didn't see this one coming. I didn't have this one on my 2025 list here of things that were going to happen. And seeing you guys being able to run, you know, so many good laps. I mean, everyone's so good, so strong, but I didn't think this race would go that quickly here this afternoon.
Yeah, I thought it, considering practice and kind of seeing some of the stuff out there, I thought it was going to be a lot more cautions, but everybody did a great job, and it was a fun race.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Sunday. Josh, congrats on that 3rd place finish, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next weekend.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Josh Bromfield. Is Bromfield coming home there in position number 3. What a run and what a drive there for that number 12 machine, man. Heck of a run, heck of a performance out there on the speedway as we'll get ready to, unfortunately, call it a night here this afternoon. The racing action coming to a close, and unfortunately, things coming to a quick end here this evening, man. This one went by in a quick hurry, which is absolutely insane. And how quick this one kind of started and how it quickly went to a close here as we'll get ready to call it a night here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. And we'll see you guys back in action here a little later this afternoon, is right before 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be back to live green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. So we hope to see you guys back in here later on this afternoon. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.